Hi, my name is AARJU RAI, and the author I picked for my presentation is Erin Entrada Kelly. Um, Background about her. She was born on 1977 at Hays, Kansas, U.S. She is Filipino-American. Her mother, Virgilia C. Entrada, was born in Philippines, and her father, Dennis Ray Kelly, was an American sailor, and they met at Philippines, and her mother moved to U.S. to marry him and settle here in America. She has an older sister, and her family moved to Lake Charles, Louisiana when she was really young, and that's where she grew up. Education, Erin attended McNeese State University and achieved her bachelor's in women's studies and liberal art there. Later on, she attended Rosemont College, where she earned her Master of Fine Arts in Creative Arting, and now she's currently a professor of children's literature in the graduate fiction and publishing programs at the same college. And Erin has earned many awards for her works in Asian American children's literature. For instance, in 2016, she earned a Golden Kite Honor Award for her book Blackbird Fly. In 2017, she was awarded Asian Pacific American Award for Literature for the book that we're going to discuss today, which is The Land of Forgotten Girls. In 2018, she received Newbery Medal for her other book, Hello Universe. Furthermore, she also writes short stories and has received nominations such as Pushcart Prize nomination and the Philippines Free Press Award for short fiction nomination. So her significance. Erin claims that she was the only Filipino in her school and community beside her sister in Louisiana. So she grew up feeling lonely, and the feeling of loneliness inspired her to um, write with the purpose of making children feel less alone in the world. Her books include many diverse and unique perspectives of growing up as an Asian American, which young children can relate to and feel comforted. And I also think her books are important as many Asian American literatures are for young adults or older readers. However, by depicting Asian American experience in children's literature, um, Asian American children could feel represented, could feel seen, and their experiences uh, validated as they grow up, and they feel less lonely and um, and they feel like they matter. Okay, so the book that I'm gonna discuss is The Land of Forgotten Girls, and in the book, the main character Soledad is a Filipino American girl who is only 12 years old, and she attends middle school. She has to face many adversities and responsibilities at such a young age. So Soledad and her younger sister Ming moved to the States from the Philippines with their stepmother Via and their father. However, their father abandons them and goes back to Philippines, leaving the girls in poverty with Via, who is verbally and physically abusive. Sol had previously lost her mother and other younger sister Amelia when they were in Philippines. Hence, Sol builds magical stories to escape and protect Ming from the reality of abuse. Uh, which is a storytelling trait that she inherited from her late mother. Further, Sol's adventures and interactions with her best friend Manny, her kind neighbor Miss Young, junkyard owner named Blackbeard, and a girl she bullied but later consoled with named Caroline. I think all these interactions and positive notes that she has with each characters gives her hope and solace amidst her life adversities and her coming out of age journey. The foundational concepts, I think the issue of symbolism is one of the concepts present in the book. There are many symbols in the book, such as sailboat, such as Soul goes to find a sailboat, a tree house originally for her sister. However, she finds a sailboat and she works hard to get the sailboat. And I think it is a symbol of hope and escapism that that Soul is still resisting and trying to get out of her situation. Second, Soul sees a family model in a glass bottle, and she compares her life with that family, and she reminiscence of what she could have had, and I think that is also a symbol of escapism and coping mechanism from her reality, harsh reality. Third, a pearl bracelet had um that cost a fortune that was given to her by her neighbor, Miss Young. I think it represents hope and it as Soul feels acknowledged and seen by the kind neighbor. And lastly, Soul's repeated dream of Amelia or of her late sister Amelia. I think it represents uh how truly lonely Soul is and how she uses these dreams to um cope with her life and console with herself to accept bittersweet reality. So I think these symbols explore the themes of loss, escapism, and shows how abuse and abandonment can shape a child's perspective in life. And however, I like that these symbols end with a note of hope. Second, archetype is one of the concepts that I've seen in the book. It's the stepmother's abusive behavior and mean demeanor towards the sister. I think it is a common archetype we see in a lot of stories where the stepchild is being abused by the step parent. And I think this archetype is not very common in Asian American stories, and I think by including this archetype in the story, I think it helps people, Asian American children who are going through similar stories, feel seen, and it helps us readers um, address that such experiences do exist in Asian American community, and how and helps us empathize with characters who go through such experiences. And lastly, the concept of why representation matters. I think this concept is really important in the book as Soul's experience story of poverty, abuse, um, it disintegrates the model minority myth that all Asian American families are typical, and they are all provision, and they do not face any real problems. I think through Soul's story, I think this model minority myth is disintegrated as we can see that abuse, poverty, and many other issues do exist in the Asian American um, individual stories, and um, it expands the Asian American stories, and it helps people who go through such experiences, such abuse, children who go through such abuse feel seen, their experience feel validated, um, and it makes them feel like they're not the only one that are going through such experiences, as model minority myth does play a role in silencing such experiences. So I think overall these concepts help the Asian American stories expand, especially in a younger audience, so that children who grew up with such issues feel belonged and feel less lonely. So in conclusion, I do like the story, and I like the author, and I like how she covers such serious topics in a in a very simple manner that children can relate to, and even us older readers can explore. And I hope that I get to read more of her books. And I like that her books, her books end with a positive note. And it targets its its purpose of making all experiences feel involved. Even though we might not relate to it, I feel like people out there, children, young children who experience these things, I think it helps them acknowledge their issues, and I think that is very significant. Thank you.